everybody. The regular Eveleth City Council meeting scheduled for 5 p.m. October 3rd will now come to order. Roll call.
Councilor Rousey.
Here.
Councilor Purpich.
Here.
Councilor Lillis.
Here.
Mayor Vysalovich.
Here. Approval of minutes, City Council Workshop Meeting September 5th. Approval of minutes, City Council Meeting September 5th. Approval of minutes, City Council Workshop Meeting September 7th. Minutes of City Council Special Meeting September 11th. Minutes of City Council Workshop Meeting September 11th. And minutes of City Council Workshop Meeting September 19th. Anybody have any questions, changes, or additions?
Yeah, 30 days left in September, we didn't meet.
Well, I don't want to put it all at one time, so
No,
we're here for 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I understand.
Any other, call for a motion that we approve the minutes?
So moved.
Motion made by Rousey, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Purpich, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Item D, approval of tonight's agenda. Under new business, I would just like to add 2 items, 7 and 8, which would involve updates on our 1404 property involvement and the junior high property for discussion. If no one has anything else to add or any questions, call for a motion that we approve the agenda with items 7 and 8.
So move. Support.
Motion made by Purpich, support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. We have no appointments or presentations. Consent agenda. Approval of payroll, August 16th through the 31st. Approval of payroll, September 1st through the 15th. Approval of claims for September. Anybody have any questions on any of those items? Call for a motion that we approve those.
Bob, what about the number 4?
I'll take that separately because I'll just have maybe
Okay.
talk to the chief there.
So move.
Motion made by Purpich, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Rousey, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 4, request for K-9 officer out-of-town training. Chief, where are we headed?
Headed to St. Paul
Paul?
for the canine case law training, so basically what you can and can't do with the dog. It was just a 1-day class, so
There's so many hours required, isn't there a training year for that?
for the dog.
For the officer and the dog?
Yep,
Oh, okay.
so
I'll ask the standard question. Is this a budgeted item?
this is our training budget, yes, sir.
Okay. We knew that.
Boy, are you on a roll tonight?
There's not enough smiles out here yet to do.
Wait till
Call
7.
for a motion that we approve the request for K-9 officer out-of-town training.
So moved.
Motion made by Rousey, we have support.
Support.
Support by Lillis, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. We have no public hearings, no unfinished business, think we can jump into new business. Item 1, Eveleth School Campus Area Plan Advisory Committee. Jackie, can you enlighten us a little bit on that?
Thank you. So as a reminder, this planning for the Eveleth School Campus Plan is got 4 phases, and we have finished phase 1, which was gather background information. And we're getting ready to start phase 2, which is prepare a development vision and goal statement. And phase 3, prepare and evaluate development alternatives. So in phase 2 and 3, Bob Streeter Consultant has presented an advisory committee, which is people made up of the community, likely people that live in the neighborhood, okay? And then by default, I'm a part of it, Jerry's a part of it. And so the question is, do you want like Jerry and I just to brainstorm some people? And then also when Bob Streeter presented to all of you back in like February that we were gonna ask the school district to participate and give us 50 grand, that they would likely have an opportunity to put somebody on there, and they did give us the 50,000. So the question is, how do you want to go about filling the seats? What kind of advice do you want to give, and can I take your advice and then just go find the people?
What's everybody's pleasure? What do you think?
Or do you all want to give me a name or two of
The
someone?
school would send their own person in then?
Yes. So there's 8, let me see. Remember I said,
How many are we,
are we responsible for placing on there? That we,
Well, I'll tell you what, it's really up to you.
How
You-
big of a committee do we need?
Up to eight, up to
Up
eight.
to eight.
Up to eight,
Okay.
and then you have to let me know whether you want the school district to have one or two out of the eight.
One.
So then we would fill the remainder.
And that would include you and Jerry?
No, Jerry and I are just staff.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't count. We don't count. We would prefer to have the community members come in and give information, feedback like it's stated here, so.
Have you gotten any feeling for whether or not there's an interest in serving on such a committee?
Oh, you know, Brian, I have not reached out to you because I wanted to talk to you first. But yes, I really do believe there's going to be folks that live in that neighborhood that really want to be a part of it because it's a pretty big change for them.
Wouldn't some business owners want to participate maybe in a little bit of this?
Well, and you can see what the, if you look at this first paragraph, it talks about what their role is. They share their thoughts as community members on what is in the long-term and best interest for Eveleth residents. Specific feedback from this advisory committee includes sharing their thoughts on the vision and goals of the redevelopment, reuse of the site, as well as the site design alternative and land uses.
You know, in a way, it's good to educate people what are the realistic ideas for that. Because, you know, you hear, oh, them buildings are great apartment house, yeah. You see the developers you get around here, they can barely afford to drive to town and leave. I mean, those buildings are old. And to bring them up to specs are a lot of money. People, once they know that kind of stuff, it might help, you know.
Right, and their role is to, like I say, share their thoughts and then just give you guys a recommendation. So,
Is Bob going to be moderating that then, or?
yes, he is.
Oh, okay, good. What do you think, 6 enough on there?
I think that's plenty.
So
Yeah,
6 total, that includes school district,
Yeah.
it's really, you know, it's.
one
6
from
to
the
8.
school
Okay,
district,
1 from the school district,
in my opinion,
and then 5 more for a total of 6.
5 more. And you can put names in a hat or however you want to do it, Jackie. You find us 5 good people.
Absolutely. So if I brainstorm 1 and 5 where you want to hand me some names, you're right, John. I can literally put them in a hat
Yeah.
and pull out the 5 and make it real random. Yep.
If I come up with anybody, I'll let you know.
Absolutely.
Because I live on Upper Hayes and I know people that are concerned over the usage of it.
Absolutely.
So,
they would
and I
be,
don't count like you.
they'd be opposed to a dirt racetrack up
They
there.
would be
like you had?
extremely opposed to anything other than a huge water slide starting at the stadium all the way down to Jones Street.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I really want to give this a lot of effort, like next week. So if you have some ideas, call me, text me, or email me of who. But if you guys could make a motion indicating that you'd like 6,
Okay.
and 1 goes to the school district, and 5 are the community.
I will make that motion.
Are these, no, not people, elected officials, just
No
the
elected
public?
officials.
Okay.
Right,
That's why I
except the
don't
school district might have a school board member on it.
Oh,
But for our
right.
5, it's not elected officials.
So-
Because you guys are the ultimate decision makers.
Yes.
So
Okay. You want to put that in the form of a motion, someone? We have
I just
6.
did already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion made by Rousey. We'll have a 6-member advisory committee. We have a support.
Support.
Support by Purpich. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Let's see here. Item number 2, Minnesota Historical Society Fiscal Agent Agreement for U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Museum funding.
Is this an ongoing thing with the Historical Society, or is this a one-time thing since they got a bunch of money from the state?
Well, so this has been going on for probably 8, 10 years so far. And so then it has to get renewed with legislative session. So this agreement will be a 2-year agreement.
Okay.
So it's kind of been ongoing, so I think that's great that the funding has continued.
And the Hockey Hall of Fame has done everything that has been asked of them as far as counting and disbursements?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So there's been no problems.
That's what I was getting at. Okay.
Perfect. And nothing's changed.
Well, that's great that they have that kind of money to help us out with, you know.
Well, years ago, that was, always came up funding that place. You know, that was just like the hospital and the Hockey Hall of Fame were always, you know, hit and miss all the time. But anybody else have any questions? Call for a motion. Do you have to just approve it, or?
Yes, just approve it, please.
That we approve this fiscal agreement?
So move.
Motion made by Purpich, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Rousey. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Independent contract between City of Eveleth and Teresa Albrum for safety coordinator administrative functions.
So you currently have a contract with her that expired, and we want to just keep going. So we got a little bit of a late start. When I say we, I mean me, got a late start, but it's really helpful to have a third party organizing things for us because safety is so important. And yes, this is a budgeted item.
Perfect. Anybody else have any questions about Teresa's contract? That's about the same we renew all the time, isn't it? Yeah. Call for a motion that we approve the contract.
So moved.
Motion made by Lewis, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Purpich. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried.
Abstain.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my boss.
Next item, independent contract between the City of Eveleth and Frank Quaternick. Frank, are you ready to come out of retirement?
I'm getting the same money Teresa got.
No.
Yeah, cost of living increase.
I want 100% raise over my last contract. $2 a year.
We
Doubling up on us, huh?
know Frank was a liaison with the school. We're gonna be same type of thing, but a little different mission. Work with, me, you and Jackie will be kind of spearheading a plan here together and on that.
Got a plan.
So let them know you are going to be our liaison again if everybody else agrees. I know you've been following the events going on up there
Oh,
too.
very close.
I'm always amazed at how prepared and how well you represent us, so.
Yeah, it's,
It's not hard when you put things on the record and they're wrong. It's not real hard to be prepared against that group. Can I ask you a question?
yes,
They read your letter to Vina at the last school board meeting. Okay? John Juhan said he had the letter. Did the city send it to the school board?
did we send it to the
We
school?
sent it to BEI.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because it wasn't disseminated to Viking Cove. I checked on Dennis. They didn't even copy that letter. But the school district did. Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, 'cause it seems like there's something,
There's,
there's something going on that, like I said, Viking Cove is being left out in the cold, and everybody else is getting all the information. And this is just not right.
well, there's an agenda. I'll say that. But yeah, once we get moving on this, so anybody have any questions, like,
We never made the letter private, so if a
Right.
BETA board member took the letter and ran with it, then
Yeah, well, I
that's,
understand. I assume if they're gonna share it, they share it
Did-
with all the interested parties.
Did Viking Cove get a copy eventually?
What's that?
Did Viking Cove get a copy?
No, I spoke to them and explained to them what was in the letter.
They should get a copy.
you know, that's,
And, Frank, I'll vote for your contract on the condition that you show me all the walleye holes on Pleasant Hill.
here we go.
Sorry, I'm done now. guys.
Yeah, just that, if nobody has an objection, then the three of us are gonna work on that project together, get a game plan, and then we'll have a council workshop. What everybody thinks how we should approach that, and what should our priorities be in everybody's mission. Frank, you okay with the deal like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll call for a motion that we approve a new independent contract between the City of Eveleth and Frank Quaternick.
so moved.
Motion made by Purpich, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Rousey. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 5, resolution accepting donation for library from the Friends of the Eveleth Public Library.
I have to say, I'm very, very happy with this. I thought
Yeah.
this was truly an amazing gift. I just, every time we get something for one of our institutions, whether it's the library or the HIP or any place like that, I think it's always wonderful that these people take the time and the monies to give them to us. So
It's nice to see the community involvement, that's kind of what's missing nowadays, especially after the COVID episode, things like that. That's like the other weekend, they had a tribute to the Carpet Brothers and racing, but it had a rain that day. Of
course.
There's still a lot of people there, lots of people. You call for a motion, we adopt a resolution accepting the donation from Friends of the Eveleth Public Library, sending them a letter of thanks.
So move.
Support?
Motion made by Purpich, supported by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Number 6, resolution accepting donation for fire department from the Eveleth Masonic Lodge. And they did donate the same thing to the Virginia Fire Department also. John, you got a little more explanation on what this device is?
You know, I really wish I could tell you, but the way that technology is advancing today, it's blowing all what hair I did have off my head. It's a fire suppression tool from the picture of it. It's handheld. I'm not sure what it does. I think we'll have to find out from the chief.
I know it's for a closed area, you just throw that in, and it somehow smothers the flames, I think. I
Really
think that's the idea of it, so you can get like an electrical fire or something fast.
comes under the heading.
No one has to go in there, you throw that thing in there and does the job.
Well, it's worth $1,000, so.
Yeah, it's expensive as far as I can tell, and then we gotta give thanks to the Eveleth Masonic Lodge for this donation.
Very nice.
Yeah, because that could be a lifesaver, something like that, for staff
Oh,
and,
guaranteed.
staff and the public.
Absolutely.
I'll call for a motion that we approve the resolution accepting a donation for the fire department from the Eveleth Masonic Lodge and also send them a letter of thanks.
So moved.
Motion made by Rousey, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Purpich, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 7, familiar topic. The 1404 building, it was the most confusing VITA meeting I've ever been to. Canceled, meeting rescheduled, other proposals coming in, and I didn't quite understand what was going on, but the attorney there was going to put a little structure to this and how it should be done, because there's offers coming in from who and what, and like I say, Vita's Eveleth in Virginia, they own the building, but we zone the property. And I've been getting a lot of lobbying for the Northland Learning Center. We're getting called, lots of calls for that, but I don't know much about it, how it works. The only thing that, like I said, we talked about before is you're trading revenue generating property because it's sitting in Virginia, James Madison School, beautiful piece of property. But we take it here, now our property goes to a nonprofit and they get to acquire tax generating property from the school once they tear that school down. And, we got burnt once with the hockey when you had those coordinated efforts by the school board in the city of Virginia. And like I say, to be simple, I would just like to see us use it for what it was intended for. Economic development. The school, I don't know where they're at. And like I say, you've got a legitimate buyer wants it, who's got 8 to 10 jobs sitting on the line, work with the communities. And in order for this to work for anybody, they would need a variance or a conditional use permit, correct me, from the city of Eveleth. That's part of the criteria. If you can't fulfill that, then you're not a legitimate proposal. Because I think it put most cities in a real good financial position, but there's been a lot of backroom things that were said, and I heard one representative from the school district had called one of the interested parties and told them they should withdraw their offer because we are going through eminent domain and we never lose, I think. Frank, that was the right terminology?
That was your superintendent who called the chief operating officer of Viking called Dennis Patrick and told him that they were going to use eminent domain to get that building and they don't lose, so they'd be wasting their time pursuing a proposal on this building. Dennis's response was they're 100% involved, interested, they're not going anywhere. They want to be in the city of Eveleth.
You know, I could say this, Northland Learning Center, I don't know a lot about it. No one's told me what it's about, what they do, but the problem is that's revenue generating property. And the way everybody's property taxes are going up, wait till you get their proposed statements. I just couldn't give an explanation why we do a swap like that, you know?
There's just no rhyme or reason for the school to even apply for that, knowing that they won't get a variance, and they won't, but we need businesses in this town. We need businesses to generate taxes so that our homeowners can stay in their homes.
Well, it's our job to increase the commercial tax base because then the homeowners get the benefit of that. I mean, I couldn't explain what's going on here, but I've got a sour taste after this hockey thing. With the school board in the city of Virginia with a third party, take all the hockey over there, and that was their big selling point for the merger. Things are going to be done equally. Well, we see what people's words are worth. But I think that's kind of the project we've got to look at, Jackie, Frank, and myself, because there's a lot more involved here, all the other school property, different things. And what's in it for the city of Eveleth? That's my biggest question. What are we getting out of it, you know?
Well, if we don't get a commercial business in there, we're out of luck
You
again.
don't get nothing.
I mean, is there some alternatives and things like that? And I guess we got to look out for what are we getting in the end for this stuff. And I don't know if the residents are going to want that up there because I don't know much about it. Maybe the chief, you know a little bit about that? Northland Learning Center?
I don't know.
I don't know much about it. That old school in south side of Virginia is a good-looking school. It's old, but it looks good. The whole campus looks good. That's prime property for, you know, housing development. All nice level land, beautiful, beautiful piece of property. You know, that's, I could understand, but I don't think we should take the bite unless we really get something in return on this kind of a deal. But that's what I really wanted to say about the 1404. That was the most confusing meeting I've ever seen about that.
And I think we discussed previously regarding my views on the whole matter that was reported in the South Daily newspaper regarding the school board meeting and comments that were made with regard to the Eveleth City Council. I think probably speak for the council when I say that, you know, this council merely sent a letter to the VITA board regarding that particular piece of property and the fact that we as a council were interested in seeing that property used for what it was intended and what the grant was received to develop that area for, and that was commercial development. You know, now there's apparently a threat of an eminent domain filing, which really is interesting to me, that a governmental entity is going to take it upon themselves to file an eminent domain on another governmental entity's property. Good luck with that. That's all I can say to the board member that made that comment. It is beyond the pale to me. I just can't believe, you know, some of the things that I've learned during our discussions regarding this particular issue. And the public needs to be aware that we as a council are intent on looking out for the best interests of the citizens of our community. we certainly do not hold any animosity towards the school district in their attempt to better their campus. However, we have a building that is within our city limits, and we control the zoning for that particular building. And I think that we need to look out for the interests of the entire community, and that is the city of Eveleth. And I think I'm getting a little spun up here, so I'm going to...
No, that's why I put it on the agenda. So we'll get everybody's feelings on that and opinions. Because this thing is getting so far out of hand, I'm telling you. I just can't believe it.
They're looking for that building, not just for the building itself, but the parking area for, up there for whatever, the games and everything like that. It just seems to me that when you plan a beautiful new school, and it is beautiful, and I've been in there and looked at everything that's going on, and I think it's great. The football stadium, the baseball stadiums are all great, but you have no parking? I mean, it just
Did you ever drive up there during the week for class time? I saw one car there one time. There's a dirt bike chained to a light pole one other time. And one Virginia council member says they drove up there and there were 2 bikes chained to a light pole one day. So other than the games,
And that's 1404 building?
yeah, one car there, and it wasn't even parked close to the school, it was on the other side. Like saying there was a dirt bike, I saw that dirt bike going through town in the morning, and it was chained to a light pole in the parking lot up there. I guess there's some things that are going on there that we're not privy to.
There has to be.
What the true intent or use of that building is really gonna be.
I don't think the citizens that approved of the school know what's going on up there now, because I think the council is holding their board is holding something back on us here. I just don't see the outcome that they're looking for. They haven't spelled it out,
No,
certainly.
Well, the school board, if you watch the meetings, the last meeting, 29 minutes and 5 seconds into the video, because I watched it numerous times. So when it starts, they repeat that for 3 years, they've had the opportunity to buy this building. And basically in that meeting, we do things in that little segment just on the 1404 building, they accused the city council of Eveleth of extortion by raising the price of the building. Now it's bidding war, I think Bill Addy said, and it's over $1 million, and we could have bought this building for $650,000 3 years ago. And then I was accused of blackmail shortly after that, so a bunch of felons in this room. They had the opportunity to buy a building, they did. They said Brett showed them the building and told them that they were the preferred customer to get this building. That's what she told them. They have bus garages currently used. They have land available that they own. Okay? So the fact that you had poor planning is not a reason for eminent domain. You had all the acreage and a whole bunch of money, and the fact that maybe that was their plan the whole time, was to get that building and use it. They should have pulled the trigger long before Michael Faber and Viking Coke walk in and put an offer on a piece of paper. So their mistake of not planning is they can't make you look bad because a company from St. Cloud decided to put an offer in this building. Because you had nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, you didn't know about the offer.
No.
Until almost 2 weeks after it arrived.
yeah.
I found out about it before our mayor knew about the offer.
I mean, there's some funny business going on there, and I think it's time to get some clarity here and transparency, what's going on, do what's best, because we've never had a relationship with them. Since I've been mayor, going on 21 years with the school board, as bad as it is now. We got along with them great all the time, and I think it rolls down to just one bad apple that just thrives on this type of problem, getting people after each other. But that's kind of why I wanted to get Frank on board with Jackie and I. We'll come up with a game plan and have a workshop. Everybody thinks, focus, because there's a lot encompassed in this, other than just that. And get the focus off of this certain items and the big picture. Because we work for the residents of Eveleth, and what's Eveleth getting out of it? I don't see a lot right now. But if nobody's got any objections, I'm going to jump to number 8, the junior high property. Jackie, how long didn't our purchase agreement expire?
So, I looked in my files.
Okay,
Okay, so the purchase agreement was signed on March 28th, 2022. And the good news is, where it talks about the closing date, it's set to be determined, 2022.
so wasn't there a quiet title proceeding?
Yeah, so that was finalized, and the last we heard from the title company was the end of July, that they were ready to move forward from the title company's position. They're waiting on the go-ahead from the seller's attorney. So I haven't heard anything from that. I can follow up with them if you'd like.
Well, I'll tell you, I know I've asked you numerous times, Jackie, you haven't got an answer. I asked the superintendent, and I never got an answer from him. I think it's a stall tactic. But after reading about the school board, and you're not going to believe what I tell you next, in the paper, I actually got a good idea from reading that article. There's a prime case for eminent domain right there, because we need it for market rate housing. Prime placement, I guess a year and a half is long enough. Oh, the legal part is done. I think it's purposely being stalled because of this other stuff. And maybe have the administrator just check into what the steps would be for that, because I think we got a pretty solid case there.
Mayor, I did get an email this morning from the title company,
Okay,
and it just said, wanted to confirm that the title company will be representing both the buyer and the seller. And I just replied, yes. So they've sent their request out saying, what's going on, and I don't know what answer they got from the school district.
well, I think we've got one thing that's blocking the whole works intentionally, and I think maybe this is an avenue we could explore and go that route. Because, yeah, I say, I got that idea from reading about the school board in the paper, saying, believe it or not, there was a good idea there on that part, because I've had people inquire a couple of years ago when that school went down. People who live in town, they'd like to build new single-level handicapped accessible homes, and they got nice properties that would sell so fast in town, older homes that are kept up, because that's what everybody's looking for. And I think this was intentional, this hold up here now. We waited a year and a half, we're no further ahead than we are. But that's all I've got under new business. Is there anybody else on the council, any committee reports or presentations, or?
We did HRA, and it was business as usual, picked officers. I will tell you that it was a coin flip for a secretary. And the loser isn't here. Other than that, business as usual, construction's done. Doors are done. They're in.
Yeah, look a lot better, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So everything is going according to plan.
You know, that place is pretty darn quiet up there.
It's not bad, it's well managed.
You know, it really is, and I would say, I'm out there every morning walking the dog, and the people are really pleasant you're talking to there, things like that. It's come a long way. Really has. It's actually kind of turned into an asset for us. The buildings look good. People got whole different attitudes and things there, and yeah, that was really something when it first went up years ago, but
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
pretty good operation now, managed very well. How about Lincoln Place? Is that
EDA
March?
stuff.
Do you think that project's gonna get done before the snow hits?
I believe so. It looks like Savvy just got back into town. They've been out of town for
It's been a couple of weeks.
Or close to a month. They've been up there.
Oh,
So I believe I just saw the trucks hauling today, so I think we just got back this week. So, looks like they're better now.
Because, you know, the weather can change around here,
We had
because,
snow October 12th last year. Oh, yeah,
Really?
I made a snowman, I
oh,
remember.
God, don't even say that.
It's true. Can't deny it. Can't deny the science, my friend.
Yeah, I think,
What's
then-
up with the pocket park as long as we're EDA?
So I wasn't here yesterday for the construction meeting, but you can
Oh, there
see
was
that.
a, okay.
Yeah, so there's the sidewalk area, that's level of Grant Avenue is done, I believe the steps are in place, the accessible ramp is in place.
I see all the concrete stuff
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
They just
yeah.
need a lot of dirt. They got the rock in there. They got,
Correct. Yep, and some
Okay.
electrical work, electrical is gonna be probably the end of this month, so we keep moving along. They got, I think, important weather-related things like the concrete in, so that's good news.
I said, do we have architectural resources working on that?
Yes.
I thought I saw the architect walking around looking at that the other day.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have anything from any meetings? Oh, and just that one question. You know, some of the things at the hip and the dasher boards, did the rec commission handle that stuff before? Or was that the city? The advertising and things like that? I was trying to think of that, you know?
There used to be a hip banner committee some years ago. I can't remember who was on it. Intahar's, a couple other people, I've forgotten their names and I apologize for forgetting. But I don't know how active they've been. And so are you asking if the advertising revenue came to the city?
Yeah, does
or-
it come to the city or somewhere else or what?
No, I think
I'm
it
just-
comes here. I apologize that I don't have that back right in my head right now.
No, I just thought about that,
where else would it go?
who would manage that?
Exactly, right.
Yeah. No, I was just curious, how that worked and what we funded with that.
Oh, okay, so if we got some Hippodrome advertising money, it would come into the general fund. We call it general fund miscellaneous. So, and the HIP is funded by the general fund, so.
Yep.
Kind of becomes a wash.
Yeah, it's, kind of confusing, these committees you had forever, now they're not here anymore, and something falling between the cracks that, you know,
They just sort of disappear.
yeah.
I would have a question with Mark. Would Jerry ever get started on what we're going to do with the outside rinks this year?
Well, we're gonna maintain them, and we have, some rare contenders.
Got some this year?
North side and, pardon?
We didn't have a good luck getting them last year, did we?
Well, the same two are gonna be coming back for sure, they say they are anyways, and so we'll be a little bit more ahead of the game, probably be looking for a few more, or fill in the time if they, depending how much they wanna work, I guess.
Okay.
Boy, everybody's having that trouble.
Somebody scramble.
You
yeah.
see in the paper, all the towns are just struggling, you know. Oh, Jackie, I was asked one thing. Did you get that email? It looks like for the utility lines up Progress Parkway, did we get, is it 4.3 million?
Oh, yeah, so that was the presentation that Alan and Jerry have been doing.
Good job
So
there,
they
Al.
went on a
Looks
house
like-
bonding tour and a land bonding tour. That's what that was about.
Okay, so
Yes,
it looks like that was on the list of projects that got approved.
Actually, I think it was the list of projects that was presented last week to the Senate bonding committee,
Yeah.
and I think the House was the week before, Alan?
Yes, so these are the bills potentially that'll be considered in the next bonding bill during
Oh,
the
okay.
session. So it's just, they were touring the region to find out about the projects in the area. And yes, me and Jerry met both the Senate and the House committees to share that project.
Yeah, I read that. There's a bunch of projects there, and I saw we were in there for that specific project. So that's a good job. Good job, you guys. One other thing, do we, you know, for that zip slip ramp, with all the drilling and stuff, is there gonna be some more cost to that?
So we're still waiting on the geotechnical report.
Oh, okay.
I just, sounds like they're swamped and kind of falling behind on the paperwork side of it. They did do the geotechnical borings and real vague results. We're waiting on the report to see what's there, but it's likely that the notes from it was, there was rock encountered. So it's likely gonna add a little bit of money, but how much, it's just a guess right now.
the reason I was thinking is maybe go back to the IRRB and for a little bit more for that project. That was my question. Ask on that, because everybody's really anxious about that project too. I get a lot of questions. Anybody else have anything? Jim, Brian?
I won the coin toss at the HRA meeting.
Yes.
Oh, you're the one.
No, he won. He's not the secretary. I got to flip the coin.
Oh. Well, Chief, you got anything to add?
Yeah, Mayor, I just want to let everybody, remind everybody calendar parking season is in effect, so.
Yeah, I saw all them love letters on the cars.
All over.
The gloves are on.
First 2 weeks, we hand these out. If anybody has any questions on how calendar parking works or which side of the street it's supposed to be on, stop in the P or give us a call. Be happy to fill them in.
I would hope the citizens would, I know it's a pain to move your car every night and everything, but for emergency purposes, it's to have the roads open, that's the main thing.
Snow plowing, street sweeping.
Yeah.
use that.
Get our fire trucks and our ambulances where they're supposed to be, or police officers if they have to be somewhere.
I have several mirrors on my dossier from squeezing through these places where people don't get it. And I gotta get through, so cost us a mirror, cost them a mirror. What are you gonna do?
Well, I'll tell you what, I got a lot of compliments from people on the snow plowing last year. I mean, just come up to you and tell you they're really happy with what was done and thank the crew, because they were out early every morning and all the bad weather we had. So it's noticed. The taxpayers appreciate it. Getting those streets open.
The enforcement of that particular, the calendar parking, that occurs during the daytime as well, is that
24 hours a day,
correct?
Yes, sir. Even during the day. Yep.
Anything else, Chief?
That's all I got tonight.
Mark, you got anything?
I guess just let everyone know that we'll be starting fall cleanup on the 9th here, on Monday, going through the alleys, starting on the west side of town, picking up the brush and leaves. Don't really know how much is down there yet, but it looks like leaves are starting to fall, so,
West to east? West to east, did you say?
east to west.
East to west, so they front.
44, Morningside, and Felton.
Okay, Al, you got anything else to add?
Nothing else, Mayor, thank you.
Steph, you got anything? Jackie?
I don't, thanks.
Joel?
No, Mayor.
Nothing. Anyone from the audience?
Well, good.
Well, if not, I'll adjourn the meeting.